Hey everyone, welcome back to On the Fence Movie Reviews. I am Rob and I'm here to talk about Wolfman. Elephant in the room. Yeah, we've been MIA for a little bit, but and I've said this quite a few times, but this time I really mean it. Fingers crossed. We're gonna start getting out more movie reviews to you guys. Maybe not day after or day of, but try within that weekend to get reviews out to you guys, just so you have something to to digest whether or not you want to see a movie that I've seen, or that maybe Adrian and maybe even Danny, if he wants to jump on here sometimes and give us their thoughts, their perspective of a movie. But anyways, let me talk about Wolfman. So I watched Wolfman Thursday night. It is Saturday, so I had some time to digest it and give my just kind of ponder it, let it roll around in my head, and give my really what I thought about it. I'm gonna do my best. I don't want to spoil anything for you, so if you don't want to know anything about the movie, just don't watch this review. I'm not gonna go into like really plot details or anything like that. I just want to talk about what I liked about the movie, what I didn't like, and just my overall thoughts of the movie itself. Now, I tried to do this, just kind of knowing things, but I don't know everything. So I'm gonna talk about, and I got my notes right here. The director Lee Winnell, who directed this movie, he has also directed Upgrade, which I really enjoyed, an underrated movie, and also The Invisible Man, which I think has when it was released, people enjoyed it. Gave it very high praise. So this is the director for that, for Wolfman, Lee Winnell, and it stars Julia Garner, who is Charlotte, Christopher Abbott, who plays Blake, and their daughter Ginger, who is played by Matilda Firth. If hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. Let me say this: those three carry this movie. There are some other people sprinkled in throughout, but they carry this movie, and in my opinion, for the most part, I think they do a really good job of it. The movie starts off where Blake. He's young with his father, and I will say this. I had mixed feelings about this, and I thought about it a little more. And I think generationally, I think maybe my mindset might be different than someone else's mindset. And I'm digging into this movie a little deep, but just the way his father was a very strict person and they lived out in the kind of the wilderness. They're up in Oregon, and he's teaching his son how to hunt, but he is very strict. He's very stern, and I think a line in the movie, I'm paraphrasing here, where he kind of tells him, he said his job is to, he's there, and everyone is seconds away from death, and his job is pretty much to prepare him for that. So that's kind of the mindset of his father, and so he has grown. He grew up with that, and then fast forward later on, I think it's about 30 years later, where it showed Blake with his family, and you see him. My light just died. That's weird. And he's a stay-at-home dad, and he's trying to be a good father. And for the most part, it feels like he is a good father, a good husband, and he doesn't want to be what his father was, and he's trying to be the opposite of that. And here's one thing I will say that's not so much negative. I don't think it was done really well, is that betrayal of him, him trying to not be what his father was. I think he vocalizes that, but it's not really shown. A few incidents where I think the daughter is doing something kind of dangerous, and he scolds her, and then he like kind of takes it back. He's like, I shouldn't have responded that way. I shouldn't have said that way. The scolding was correct, but the way he says it. So that's kind of how they portray his like trauma with not wanting to be as stern, as strict, and kind of as aggressive as his father was. We find out his father has been missing for a few years, and they declare him, dead. So he goes back home to go through his father's stuff, his cabin or his house in the woods, and Therein lies our story, Wolfman. And I'm kind of going to stop there because I don't want to spoil anything from that point on. I will say this: things I liked about the movie, things I didn't like about the movie. I really enjoyed the cinematography. I enjoyed the practical effects. I enjoyed the perspective of this is something different. I mean, I've seen it before, but the perspective from the wolf man's point of view, as far as how things look and the effects they use, I thought that that was really cool, very different. And the one thing I will say that people might be turned off about, and I'm not really sure, but it's my opinion, is the way the Wolfman looks. It looks more like not so much a werewolf, but a man that's a wolf almost. And I know it kind of sounds silly, but definitely it more pays homage to the older, the original Wolfman, and look where it's more like not so much like a wolf that's like this bear wolf that's standing up, more like it very much feels like a wolf man. So I know some people may not like that, some people may dig it. I feel like that's going to be 50-50 with people, but overall I enjoyed the look of the Wolfman. The family element of it, I thought the actor and actresses, I think they did a pretty good job. I think more Blake, who is Christopher Abbott, I think he kind of more stands out a little bit as far as the caring and the concern of his family, and kind of showing that and being able to portray that on screen. I think he did a really good job. And not that's not to say the daughter and the wife didn't do a good job in their roles. I just think the standout was Blake the father. The family dynamic was done really well, which made you care more about these characters when stuff started to happen. And I will say the creepy aspect of it, the suspenseful aspect of it. I was thinking about it when I came out, and I was just kind of like, I was like, I don't know if it was scary or suspenseful, but then I thought about it more, and I was thinking about scenes, and there's this one scene where like the creature is there. You know where the creature is, and you see where the family is. They can't see the creature, but you know where it's at because it kind of does this view, and you see it from the creature's perspective, the wolfman's perspective, and the family's perspective, and you know where the wolfman is at, but still it has a very suspenseful, very eerie, very creepy horror vibe to it. And I just thought really the whole movie itself was done really well with the excuse me, with the creepy vibe. There are some jump scares. I don't think they're cheap jump scares. I think they're really good jump scares. So overall, I did enjoy the horror element of it. There's definitely some gore, some carnage, some violence, visceral, just tearing apart of people. So be prepared for that. One thing I will say that might be a negative, not for me, but for some people, is it definitely is a slow burn. You get the beginning of the story, it kind of sets you up in that middle area. There's it's building, it's story building. I'm fine with it. I think they did a good job with the slow burn and the storytelling and the story building, but I could see some people being like, "Oh, this is kind of slow. This is boring. I'm out." So, just be prepared for that. Everything does take place. It's one day, one house, and kind of the surrounding area. So, I did enjoy that kind of like almost they're cut off and they're stuck in this area and they're trying to survive. So, it's very small, very grounded kind of story, and I did enjoy that. I think the transformation or the transitioning from man to wolfman, it's different, definitely different. I think it's a little slower. We are used to, and I had to like think about it myself. And we're used to like someone when they're changing into a werewolf, kind of just the transformation happening, and it feels like maybe it's minutes. Whereas this is kind of you see it happening. It's not really fast. It's just like it's a process. Is in this movie, it takes a while, but I think the payoff is worth it. And some of the negative things that didn't really bother me too much, but definitely I will say the negative thing is kind of the overtop protection of the father, and kind of like again I mentioned earlier how his daughter was doing something and he gets really upset about it, and I'm just like, and he feels bad about it, and I'm just like, oh, I could see what the daughter was doing. someone being upset about that, so I kind of understand it. Also, in the movie, the mom, some stuff is happening with the dad, and the mom's worried, and she kind of just lets the daughter out of sight a little bit, and I'm just like, who would do that? Like, no one would do that. Like, if a weirdo's over there, and I understand, like, it's involving her husband, but if something's happening, I'm not leaving any kid alone with anyone who's being a little weird. I think that's about it for negative things for me. I think the movie is about 90 minutes. I think it's a good time slot for the movie. I think maybe story wise, maybe they don't dig really deep into the story. But overall, I thought the story was decent. The story it moved the story moved the movie forward, and I was okay with it. And another thing I will say, a positive note. The lore of a werewolf and just kind of the way they describe what the werewolf is, or not the werewolf, but the Wolfman is. I liked it. And I was into it. I want a little more backstory on that, but I like the way they described like how the Wolfman came about. So, anyways, those are my thoughts on the Wolfman. No, actually, it's actually not even called the Wolfman. It's just called Wolfman. Those are my thoughts on Wolfman. If you've seen it, let me know what you think. You have the same feelings, or is they completely different? Leave your comments in the comment section. If you like this video, hit that like button. Really appreciate it. We have our Instagram where we do more of our quick reactions, like right out of the theater reactions. Maybe just this is my rating for this movie kind of thing on our Instagram, which is also On the Fence Movie Reviews. So go over there and check that out. Give us a follow. Give us like our stuff over there. With that being said, On the Fence is back. Thank you for watching this video, and if you like it, click like, subscribe, and remember, we will catch you on the fence.